you need is your foam roller this morning. If you are so inclined and you need a headrest or something for your knees, have a little pad close to you. And then I'm using hand weights for some of the movements. You don't have to. Don't go with a super heavy set of hand weights. We're going to lie on the roller and do some balance work. So super, super heavy ones are really actually quite awkward with that. If you want to use a heavier set, you can, but definitely not necessary. So find yourself in sits bones parallel, gently pulling the abs in, shoulders down, and go ahead and releve and lower. I like your foam roller, Kathleen. I know, I'm teasing you. So when we do the one lying long on it, if you want to challenge the balance a bit, use a bender ball underneath your tush. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can. Little pulses up here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. Heels together, toes apart. And go ahead and lift and lower again. If you don't have a foam roller, you guys, you can use a pole of some sort for balance. Not a big deal. Let's go 2 more. And go 1. And then let's pulse it up. Let's go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. And then toes together, heels apart. Again, not huge, just a modest little internal rotation. And then lift and lower. Drop the shoulders, zipper the abs, and just think of lengthening to the sky. Again, that zipper is very gentle. We're just starting some base movements. Pulse it. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and lower. And then spiral to a bit wider and slightly turn out the legs. Peel it down, bend the knees, hips, ankles, and just use that roller or your pull just to kind of assist that first deep pull, and then lengthen all the way up. So I'm just doing a big, massive passive squat. And I'm using that roller just to help with my balance as I drop my tailbone heavy. Head is heavy, and then I'm just going to roll up. So if that's going well, I'm going to take the roller into my hands and roll all the way down and maybe get a little deeper into the hips. Let your head dangle and then slowly come up. Reach that up to the sky, and as you reach it, pull it back a little bit, just a little, and just kind of lift that heart. See where that extension is going to go this morning or this afternoon. Bring it all the way down. Bend the knees, hips, ankles. And this time I'm going to come right down, either hands on the floor, or hands on the roller, whatever feels comfortable. Remember, if you're a little tight, you're up here, and you're just kind of swinging from left to right. And see if you can just get some mobility into those hips. So as you're doing this, I'm just going to move my roller for a second. You are coming right up on the ball of the foot. And if you can, you're kind of dropping that knee. So you're getting the biggest movements that you can. As you do this, start kind of also warming up your hands. So find your hands in different positions on the floor. When the palms are up, don't put a lot of weight into the hands, right? That's not how they're meant to hold your body. And just kind of play around, just looking for some movement into our fingers and stretching them out a little bit as we're stretching out our hips. So all different directions on that. And then go ahead and pick up that roller, bend the knees, drop the tailbone, curl the spine, parallel out your feet, bring up whatever little prop you're using, push it a little farther back, and then lift that heart and bring it back to center. So let's stay up here. Push your pole or your foam roller behind you, lift your heart, and bring it back. 2 more. Reach it, opening, expanding the chest, and lift, and center. And 1 more time, little press, and lift. And on this one, roll all the way down. We're going to tuck that roller or pole or ball right into the tummy, or even pillow would work here, you guys. You're just tucking that in there, letting everything dangle over top. So now I'm looking at getting some rounding in my spine. And I'm just going to stay here and breathe as big as I can, folded over my little prop. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. And then untuck that tailbone, lengthen it up, and bring that roller all the way up. As you bring it up, give me that extension 1 more time. And then dive around the corner, bend knees, hips, ankles. Keep the roller on the ground, press into your hands, and just straighten the legs as you look through the roller, through your legs to the far wall. Give your head a dangle. So try not to look to the roller, look through so your neck is totally inverted and lengthened. Sway back and forth here a little bit, and then bend the knees, drop the tailbone, slowly curl the spine. And 1 more time, we're going to bring that up, extend the arms behind you, so hopefully getting a bit more range, and lift the heart. and then bring it all the way to center. So staying here, I'm just going to reach it over to the side, pull the bottom in parallel to the floor, lean my hips in opposition, press that out and get a little bit of heat happening into the side. Now, if this is a bit tight, pulse into it. So you're moving through the joints as well as into the muscles. It's a very modest pulse. If you bring your feet in closer, Denise, and push your hips to the side, yeah, you'll get a little more stretch there. Big hold here, you guys. And then turn that down to the floor and roll it back into the center. Roll those shoulders, so forward, up, down, and back. And then roll the shoulders the other direction. And then reach it up. Let's go the other way. Reach it over, pull the bottom in, push the top out, lean the hips in opposition, peek to the floor, and press that out. Couple really big breaths. So you're really trying to reach that top arm as far as you can so that the foam roll is kind of perpendicular or pole is perpendicular. Big breath here. Come out of it slightly as you fold and bring it all the way down. So we're just going to go wide into a passive squat and do a figure 8 here with all those movements we just did. I'm going to bend down, rotate it open, lengthen it as I lean back, kind of matrix-like, and then come down and spin it around again. And then inhale and lift, and exhale. Here we're going to switch directions. Spin it, lengthen, lift the heart. Stay connected on that lift, you guys, and bring it down one more time. Spin, lift, and open. Bring it all the way around, stretching those obliques. Come back to the center. Stay here. Press the hands on. Maybe widen out the feet, knees, hips, ankles if you can, and then fold down. So I'm going to push that roller out, let my head dangle, and I'm just going to wave here a little bit, stretching a little deeper. Now, internally rotate the knees, hips, ankles. Change the stretch slightly. Couple inhales, exhales. Now turn your heels in, pull the roller in, and slowly come up to tall. Roll those shoulders again. Heel toe all the way in. Heel toe all the way in. So you're really moving through the hip joint. Don't just kind of step it in. From here, let's find a nice squat position, you guys. So a little bit wider than sits bones. Find your first squat, drop your shoulders. Watch you're not giving huge J-Lo booty, but you're also not hunched. And then find that nice little rocking. Just find that balance point. My shoulders and my arms are relaxed. Chest is open. So if that roller's really far down there, Peter, go even without a roller, right? So that you're not kind of hunched forward to find it. And then you're more lifted in the chest. From here, lift the heels, lower the heels. Lift the heels, lower, because that'll be a really low position for how tall you are. Go 2 more, lift the heels and low. One more time, lift and lower. Now keep the heels lifted. Use the hips and the knees and pulse. 5, 4, 3, 2. Pull that all the way in, stand super tall. Open up the hip flexors, lower the heels. Go singles. Squat, releve, lengthen tall, and lower. One more time. Squat, releve, lengthen tall, and lower. Let's reverse it. Rise up tall. Squat down. Lower your heels, and then just press the arms out, press the legs out. Drop into your armpits so you feel a shoulder stretch. Hands are just gently on top. Give a nice little rocking back and forth. So if you're really tight in those hamstrings and the shoulders here, I'm going to bend the elbows and bend the knees a bit. Just softening the joints slightly to take out that intensity slightly. From here, bend the knees, drop the tailbone, drop the head, and just body wave as you come all the way up. So let's go flat back down, lengthen, more neutral if you can. And then bend the knees, drop the tailbone, and curl up. So we're just body waving, just like we would if we had a push-through bar, right? If you don't have anything to hold on to with your hands, you can put your hands on your quads for a little love. Now bring your feet in tight to sits bones. Hinge forward, pull the roller in, start a poodle wag. So now I'm looking for that left-right movement through my hips, right? So if I turn this way, you'll kind of see a bit better. The hip goes off to one side and then the hip goes off to the other. So I'm not bending and straightening the legs. I'm moving my spine from left to right. If that feels good, look to the hip as you bring it around the corner. As you look, slow it down. Try and get a really good C happening in your spine laterally. And then bring it the other way. Bring it back to center. Bend your knees. Slowly come all the way up. And just roll those shoulders. So let's put that roller off for a second. Find yourself at the end of your mat and just free flow a little bit of movement here. Reach it up. Come around the corner. Bend the knees, hips, ankles. Find the floor. And walk it out to 4-point stance. 4, 3, knees down on 2 and 1. Uncurl the toes. Give those feet a little paddle, just kind of get some blood flow into the feet. And all I want you to do is sit back and come to neutral. Sit back, come to neutral. So now I'm going to move my hands a little farther forward, so it seems like they're too far forward. Sit back will be a stretch. Pulling forward, you're going to let your belly drop down a bit and open up the lower back a bit deeper. So we're going to press back and pull forward. And press back and pull forward. So use a kneeling pad if you need it. Just again, starting to get some mobility through the joints, through the spine. One more time. Stay in the forward briefly here. Lift the heart. And then press it back. Widen out your hips. Reach with your fingers. Drop down into your forehead. Now, if that's hard with your hands here, bring them in tighter. Otherwise, I'm looking for a little lat stretch there. And I'm wiggling my thoracic spine from side to side slightly. Drop your tailbone heavy down towards your heels and just roll that up. Roll those shoulders. Bring your feet back, knees back into parallel sits and come tall onto your hands. Curl your toes under. So let's get a little stretch into those toes, right? So if your ankles are out here to the sides, look through your legs and try and get your big toe, baby toe straight pointing towards your knees if you can. So you get that stretch. Right, so we're getting that nice stretch there. If that's okay, come put a little pressure into those feet by sitting up. If this is too much pressure, your body weight is going into your toes. Come off of the body weight a bit. Right, if you're okay, stay down there and stretch up those toes just a smidge. Right, so you feel those big toes getting a nice pull into the stretch. And then let's find our 4-point stance. Abs engaged. Just give me a couple sternum drops. So I drop through my shoulder blades and press away. Elbows here are not bending and straightening. The movement here is through your scapula. So you're dropping into retraction and then protraction as you push away. Now stay with the pushed away. Not rounded, neutral pushed away. Lift an inch, hover off that floor. Now if you have anything going on with the wrist, go to your elbows on an ottoman. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2. Lower it down, uncurl the toes and give them a little paddle. And then we're going to reset those toes. We're going to lift again just an inch. Now, if that inch is a nice challenge for you, stay here. Otherwise, you're going to start a march with one leg without lifting your booty. And then bring the leg down. And then march the other leg. So we're staying nice and strong. And we're just shifting from left to right. Let's go 4 more. Exhale 3. Inhale down. Exhale 2. Nice, you guys. And last one. Now, on this one, let's do a down dog. So lift and press into your down dog. Take your hands, widen them out on your mat a bit, middle finger running up the center, drop your shoulders away from your ears. So if you're up here pushing away from the floor, get your shoulders away, make space, and drop into your chest for the stretch. Now I find I slip a bit, so I just grab the side of that mat to give me an anchor point. A little bit difficult, lift the heels, bend the knees slightly, and give me a poodle wag here again. Wiggle that tailbone from left to right. Inhale, exhale, and then come out of your shoulders slightly and paw at the floor. Now I'm just moving through, getting some stretch into the calf line. Press it back and forth. Leave your feet flat. Walk your hands in. 4. Try and get your hand perfectly flat. 3, if not, bend the knees to do it. 2 and 1, let everything dangle. Bend the knees, drop the tailbone. Big inhales, we come all the way up to tall. Give me a nice extension. Exhale, hands down, center heart. And let's go into a little bit of standing leg work. So if you're using a hand weight, go ahead and grab it. I'm going to step forward with the same hand that's holding, same leg that's holding the weight. And the roller's going forward into the other hand. Hips are square. Find your first lunge. So here I don't want my knee going way over my toe. A little bit over is perfectly fine. I'm trying to curl the back toes. If that back toe is an issue for you, rotate your foot open a bit. And then I'm just going to start that press as I go forward. So I'm going to extend the arm and pull it back. Get into that glute. So I'm bending my front knee to get down there and pushing away. The roller and the weight moving just messes with my stability, right? So I'm reaching and I'm pulling in. Watch as you come forward, guys. This knee is not dropping in. Get that out to the side a little bit so you're not collapsing out of your glute. Go 2 more and 1. Now stay in the forward, drop your pulling arm down, reach and touch this leg in, teeter-totter up. Watch you didn't rotate your hip open. And now pull and press. Exhale, inhale. And I'm just rowing that base arm. And I'm just bringing it up. Now, if that's difficult, stand a little taller. If you're okay, get your body parallel to the earth. Open your chest. 4 more. 3, 2, squeeze that glute. 1, bring it all the way up to the front. My knee comes up. As the knee comes up, watch the hip didn't hike. Let's go. 4, 3, 2, 1, and bring that down. So what we're going to do is we're going to step back into a lunge and press up into balance. Step back into a lunge, bicep curl and press. So I'm going down, curling and pushing, and down and curl and push. Now, if you don't need the roller, don't use it. That roller is to give you just a flirt of balance. Try not to depend on it. Go 1 more for me. And then you're going to just bring that foot just gently down beside. So if you like the challenge of that roller here and your balance is needing the roller, keep it there. If you want a little more challenge, toss the roller behind you. Toss the roller behind you. It can be a short roller here, guys. Take that foot, put the ball of the foot, not the toe curled, the flat part of the foot on there. Whoo! And let's add that to our lunge. So you're going to press down and power up. And you do have to find just that right distance where the roller rolls back. You get a hip flexor stretch, but you work the glute and the hamstring of that front leg, and you're really challenging balance now. Now, take your weight into the opposite hand and go to bicep curl. So now I've switched the weight into the back leg hand. And I'm going down and using my glute to come up. Go 2 more and come up. Now stay down there. This is a tough one. Stay down there. If you need to, you can anchor your toes. If you can keep the toe extended, do so. And rotate. Woo. Exhale, pull. Inhale, back. Let's go 5 and 4. If you need to, you can put that knee down or the toe down. And 2 and 1. And then all the way forward, let that weight go down and drop that knee down. Move your front foot forward and let's go into our traditional hip flexor stretch, guys. So lift that heart. Now that foot, that shin on the roller will intensify this stretch. So if that's too much, push that out so that leg is not lifted. Lift your heart, 1 arm up, both arms. If it feels okay, add your extra bind. Find your breath here, guys. Slowly come out of that. Take that front leg, laterally rotate it out. Come down to your hands. Now, if the hands are okay, go down to your elbows. I'm a little tight on the one side today, so I'm just going to stay on my hands. Give a little rocking left and right. Inhale, exhale. And if it feels okay, one hand stays down, other hand goes into the knee. Rotate and gecko over your shoulder. Couple inhales, exhales here in rotation. Bring it back to center. Push your hips back and spin that leg all the way around. So now your shins are on the roller. Yes. So we're going to come down to the elbows, pull our shoulders away from the ears, and walk our arms a little what feels too far forward. So my booty's sticking up, my elbows are forward. And then I'm going to pull my upper torso into a plank position, tuck my tailbone. So if planks are difficult, I'm going to stay here. And this will be where my movement goes with my knees down. If you're okay with it, up come those knees. And we're just going to hover here and hold. If the hold is feeling good and you're ready for movement, I'm going to go slightly forward and slightly back. Now you can go as far back as you want. As long as you go backwards, you don't arch and collapse to the floor, right? So you're trying to stay in that little supported spine position. Inhale, exhale, as you roll back and forth. Squeeze those legs nice and tight. Let's go 3 more. Exhale, 2. And last 1. All the way forward, let your hips go down. Relax your legs and just keep your elbows to the ground, hands to the ground. Give a little swan here. Now on this one, I've let my belly and my booty go. So I'm not pulling up and in. I'm allowing that to open, shoulders retract down. Little no on the neckline, so it's a little bit of a floppy push-up. If the floppy feels good here and you've got a bit more movement in your back, place your hands a little stronger and lift up a little higher. But remember, I'm not pulling my abs up here. My pubic bone is staying down, my glutes are relaxed, and I'm using that for spinal mobility versus for core connection. Nice. Slowly come down out of that. Move your feet forward of your roller. Curl your toes, place your hands nice and strong. Up you come, and let's find that little down dog again. If your roller's too close, just kind of move it out of the way so you get a little more length happening in your body. Paw from left to right. We have that whole sequence on the other side, guys. Feet go flat. If you're tight, lift and bend, right? Walk your hands to your feet in 4, 3, all the way in on 2 and 1. Let everything dangle. And then bend the knees, drop the tailbone, curl the spine. Big inhale on the up. Exhale, hands down, center heart. We have that entire sequence other side. So go ahead, grab your roller. I can get mine. And then it's going to be same hand as foot with the weight. And the other leg, the leg you haven't worked, is behind you, right? Hopefully you remember which leg you had forward. So find your first lunge. Take a moment to find your happy place on it, shoulders down. And then you can reach and pull. So both the arm moving and the leg moving are going to make that pull a little harder. Watch you haven't set up with your foot so close that your knee is going fully over your toes. So that step away is quite big. Same arm as leg has the weight to start with. We switch it part way through. So we did both. Down we go and press away. Let's go 4 more. If you don't need the foam roller or a stick or pole, don't use it. Challenge your own balance. I need it. It's just not going to happen today without it. Stay in the forward. Sneak your back leg in a little bit. You might need to move the roller slightly. Teeter-totter that leg up. Now, if that's working for me, I hinge farther forward. Relax the hand that's holding on to the balance point, right? Try not to have that shoulder all poked up and tense. Squeeze the glute as you row. 4 more. 3. Exhale, 2. And 1. And then bring it all the way up. Watch as you come up. You don't hike your hip. And then let's just lift and lower. Again, holding on very gently. If you don't need to, every once in a while, just kind of let go. And test the waters on your balance. 4 more. 3. Now we're going to go to lunge to stand in 2 and 1. So I go back into my small lunge, bent leg lunge. So I do a bent leg lunge with a bicep curl and then a press up. Wow, speak Fiona. Down we go, biceps and press and biceps. So your back leg on this one is bending and the knees coming towards the floor versus that straight leg lunge. They are a little different. 1 more time. Now here we're going to stay in that lunge, right? So if you liked the challenge of the roller, you're going to take a moment to place the roller, and then the weight goes in the opposite hand, guys. If you're not using the roller, that's fine. And then I'm going to lunge down and come up. Lunge down and add a little bicep curl. Lunge it down, power it up. So you've really got to find that foot and that back shin connecting nicely to the roller. When you lunge down, you're going to get a hip flexor stretch here. So be careful you don't over push the roller back. Now stay in the down. That's difficult. Drop the knee, move this foot forward, or curl the toe. If you want to keep the knee off, but you can't keep the balance, curl the toe. From here, we're going to rotate and rotate. And 5. So I've got my toe curled on this side. My hip flexor is not super happy on this side. So I've given it some support by anchoring my toe. 4 more. Remember, always honor your body, right? 3 more. 2 more. Last 1. And then gently bring yourself out of that. Place that weight forward. If that shin stretch or that Roller stretch is difficult. Move the roller back more and let's slip into the hip flexor stretch, right? So the higher that roller is towards your knee, the deeper the front hip flexor stretch will be. Again, I've got a miffy leg going on here, so I'm going to remove that roller completely. This is where I'm going to stay. If you're feeling good, up you go fully and go into your bind, right? So go right ahead into your bind. Couple good inhales, exhales. One more good breath. Take that front leg, laterally rotate it out. Hands to the floor. Wiggle into that stretch to start with. If you can go to the elbows, go right ahead. Go where feels good for you. I'm staying on the hands today. From here, if gecko's in your practice, place that hand into the knee and give me a rotation to the sky. Couple good inhales, exhales here. One more big breath. Push your hips back, both hands on the floor, bring that leg around. If you pushed your roller away, scooch it and bring it back. Bring it back just in front. So this does not have to be done on the roller. The roller is going to make it more difficult. So I'm placing that roller strong. I'm going to do my alternating cat. So my shins are on my roller and I'm back into that 4-point stance. Watch you're not collapsing. Pull your abs in. If this is difficult, you can take your toes. Right now my toes are reaching away. They're not an anchor point. But if I curl my toes, that's going to make me a little more stable. So that's up to you. So from here, without shifting your weight to one side, just look for a nice low handshake and bring that hand back down. And then low handshake the other side and bring it down. So this is one of those exercises that you think, why is this so difficult? There's a lot of stabilization going on here. So now I'm going to low handshake my right and send out my left leg. Hold that for 5. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. 4, 3, 2, and bring that down. And let's do the other side. Connect it nice and strong. Send out the leg, send out the arm, and hold for 5, 4, connect Miss America sash, 3, 2, and bring that all the way down. Place your knees in front and just let that roller move out of your way. Curl the toes, lift. Find that little wiggle in your down dog as you walk your hands towards your feet. All the way in, bend the knees, drop the tailbone, curl that spine. Big inhale up. Exhale, hands down, center heart. And go ahead and give that a little wiggle. So grab your roller. We're going to do a little bit of stabilization with that core toe tap on the roller. Now, if you don't have a roller or you only have a part one, do this on the floor. And if you want to challenge the core stabilization, put a block underneath your sacrum, a little block or a bender ball, or just do this on the floor. Hand weights, definitely an option. Place them to the side. Find yourself in front of your roller, and we're going to do a nice big booty squat, so we sit down on the roller. So I'm going to come right down, get my tailbone down there, and then walk my feet out a little bit. So from here, the tendency will be go to really wide with our legs. I'm exaggerating, but really wide. Try and keep them so they're still sits bones. Reach the arms. Now, if you have a tender spine or a tender back, instead of rolling down, put your hands down and just slide yourself down. Otherwise, we're going to vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae, roll our bodies down, and then find ourselves nice and long. So if your head dangles off, you need to bring your spine down a little bit on that roller. So you just have to bear with I need a Kleenex. Just keep breathing for a second, you guys. I'm going to take off my microphone. I absolutely have to blow my nose. Lie down on your roller and just enjoy it. Okay. Sorry, I'm back. That sniffling was driving me crazy, so if it wasn't bothering you, I don't believe you. I know it was bothering you. Find yourself in a neutral spine, just a neutral, right? Shoulders are down and away. If you feel you're kind of perched up, kind of lift up your bum and re-peel and settle that spine on there. And let's go ahead and just grab the arms. So if you want weights, you can. You don't have to. Keep your body in a nice neutral spine. Reach the arms overhead. We're going to do some snow angels. As the arms come above the head, the tendency is to pop the rib cage. Keep the ribs down and then circle open. So you could have a bender ball underneath your bum with your feet on the floor. You could have a small pillow underneath your bum. You could have a block underneath your bum. Weights are optional. They do make it harder to control the rib cage movement. That's the whole idea of them. So it's not that the weights are super heavy, it's just that the weights cause us to want to pop our ribs. And then now change your snow angel. Come around wide and bring it straight forward. Now, if you feel any pinging or pinching in the shoulders as you're doing this, decrease the size of your circle, specifically decrease how far the arms go up over the head, like right here, right? We want to keep those shoulders away. Go 2 more, all the way around, nothing moving in your spine. Now keep the arms reaching for the sky, right up to the sky, yeah? And then open the arms. Your head should be relaxed down on something, otherwise that neck is going to get very sore, yeah. Inhale, open the arms, exhale, close. So flies, like you would in the weight room, just a regular set of flies here. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Go 2 more, open the arms to the side of your body and close them. And 1 more time, open and close. Now bring the arms down and rest the weights just for a moment. The closer my hands to my body, the easier, the wider, the harder. The wider, the more stability I'm going to get from my hands. Find a slightly supported spine. So instead of neutral, I'm bringing the ribs slightly closer to the hips. I'm going to start marching. So as we take that leg off, watch you don't hike the hip and start moving through your pelvis now. Now, if you're okay with it, you can flare your elbows slightly off and test your balance point here. Tendency will be then to take the legs super wide. Don't change the legs. I have an incredible dumbass side on this. The left leg can flirt up quite nicely. When I go to do the right, my right rib hip stability is not as strong, and I tend to wiggle around all over the place. So go nice and slow. If that leg can't come up without a lot of modification on your body position, just lift your heel. Just lift your heel. Beautiful. Now, hands down, feet down. Find a supported spine, knee fold one leg, knee fold the other. Tendency, pulling them in too close. You've got a brick wall, bend your knees so your shins are parallel to the sky or to the floor, and then give me that toe tap. So again, I could be up on a pillow, a block, anything like that. And on this one, weights or no weights, it's up to you. As I toe tap one leg down, I'm going to reach my opposite arm to the sky and then bring it down. Now, if that's difficult, instead of reaching the whole arm, if your hands are flat, just bend your elbow off and put your hand back down. So just modify it by decreasing the lever length. It is the opposite arm that's coming up as the leg goes down. So it's a contralateral pattern, which messes with the brain a little bit. Stay nice and controlled. Press that up and down. 1 more time. So these are deceivingly hard again. Finish the other side. And then let the feet come all the way down. Give a little break on the abs. So I'm just doing a little clocking of my pelvis here. If you're up on the ball, maybe bring yourself down, wiggle, and then come back on. If you're on the block, you can do pelvis clocking quite nicely. And then find yourself in supported spine again. Keep both hands down. I'm going to stepping stone this quite quickly. You can choose where you want to go. I'm only going to come up with my left leg. So my left leg is going to toe tap down and come up. Just my left leg. Just my left leg. That's it. Stay on the left. Working for you, your right hand goes up into the air, and you're going to put the right hand out to the side and bring it up. Again, the weight will make it harder, so choose carefully. Out to the side, bring it up. Just the one leg, just the one arm. Working for you, up goes both arms. Now, still only move the right arm, left leg. Still working for you, do flies on the upper torso as the one leg goes up and down. So now I have 1 foot only on the floor. Choose what's working for you. Open and close. Go 2 more. Open and close. Bring the elbows down, bring the foot down. Now we're going to do the other side. Hopefully it's not your dumbass. Find a slightly supported spine or neutral if you can maintain it, and just start with the leg and tabletop. Once you've gotten table, touch it, bring it up. So remember, if you can't touch it without losing your rib hip connection, don't touch it. Now bring up the opposite arm. This hand is on the ground, same hand as leg is on the ground for stability. And now I'm going to take that arm off to the side and bring it in. So that arm now is doing a fly to the side. Working for you, bring both arms up, but still only move one arm, one leg in opposition. So right leg toe tap, left arm out to the side. Working that brain a bit here today, you guys. Now if that's working for you, both arms open as that leg taps. Watch when you're doing this, you don't collapse to the ground, find stability, and then come up. You want your body to learn how to catch itself without falling right out of position. So go 4 more on whatever was challenging you. And go 3. So you got to really connect differently between one rib, one hip. And last one. And then bend the elbows down, bring that foot down, let the weights go down. So from here, we're going to do a snow angel. And as the arms come up and around, when you see your fingers, you're going to roll up into an ab crunch. Hold that for a moment. And then roll it back down. Now, if your head doesn't like unsupported sit-up, put your hands underneath your head, roll up, inhale, hold it, exhale, roll down. If you can go without the arms, go ahead. My arms come into 11s and I reach and I bring it down. Now, if that's working for you, you're going to extend one leg as you reach, or just lift the heel off, or just lift the toe off slightly. And then the other side. So we're alternating here. So you don't have to lift those legs if you don't want to. You are rolling up into kind of a hundreds position and rolling down. One more time. Roll it up. Roll it down. Now reach one arm, reach one leg, same arm, same leg, and just roll yourself off your roller. Roll it off. Let your spine go down. Take that roller underneath the small of the neck, just above the small of the neck, more into the headline. Find the occipital bones, laterally rotate out your hips, and give your headline a little massage, back and forth. Might need to hold the roller so it doesn't run away. Chin is tucked in, so we're exposing the occipital bone, which then exposes where your upper traps, a little bit of your levator. There's some muscles that attach nicely in there. We're just kind of rollering those out. And then bring those feet back in nice and strong. So we're going to lie the roller long. The roller on side lying leg kick series and lift series makes it much more difficult. So you don't have to use this roller. If I'm not using the roller, I'm going to anchor. I'm going to bend. My first level is bent knee. Second is anchored. Third is reaching, right? And I'll be on my side for my leg kick series and leg lift series. If I want to use the roller, it makes me more unbalanced. I'm going to come on and have my armpit at the very end. From here, I'm going to support my neck on top of my hand. And then I'm going to anchor this foot. I do have to bring that foot forward, and then this leg extends. So if you're like, yeah, no, I'm very wobbly in lateral work, lie on the ground here. Same leg pattern, lie on the ground. Lift, lower. So if you don't have a long foam roller, take this to the floor. Just do the floor work. Watch here, your rib on the top isn't dropping down. Lift that bottom rib a little bit and just start that leg lift. Inhale, exhale. So a little shits and giggles, I could do a side raise with my arm, and I could choose the weight if I wanted to. Totally optional. Let's go 3 more. If you find yourself wiggling, don't add the arm. 2 more. And last one. Now take that weight and just place it gently on the thigh and give me little circles. Little circles. If you find yourself wiggling around, put the hand to the floor. Let's go 4, 3, 2. Circle the other way for 4, 3. I'm rolling off. I am unstable today. 2, evidently. 1. Place that weight down and go ahead and flex the foot. Kick it forward for 2. Point the toe and extend it back. So I'm going to go inhale, inhale, exhale. Now, if you're on mat and you know side kick series 3, you can put both elbows in place and do the little rib pull. Cannot do that if I'm not on the floor. It's a little awkward. Inhale, inhale, exhale, reach. Go 2 more. Inhale, inhale, exhale. 1 more time. Inhale, inhale, exhale, and release. So we're going to bend the knees forward if you're on the roller, just to bring yourself gently off. If you're not on the roller, you don't have to go anywhere. And lie it long. Now, we're going to go into some side plank from here. So I'm taking that roller down to the same, I'm on my same side, the roller's down by my legs. Again, I don't have to use the roller. I can come up from the knees or I can come up from straight leg. So I'm going to start with my knees bent. I'm going to prop myself up on my elbow. If I know I have pressure points, I could wrap that mat for my elbow. My elbow is slightly out from my shoulder because when I come up, I'm going to lift my ribs and my hips and press out slightly. Again, you can lift up and keep your knees down. Okay? So let's press up to where you feel good. I'm going to take my front leg and stack it to make it harder, or I'll keep it in front. Right? From here, I'm going to lower my ribs and lift them. Whew. Lower and lift. 5. So your knees can be down, your feet can be down, or everything's up on the roller. Let's go 3 more. 2. 1. Now keep those ribs lifted. Rotate both hips to face the floor, and then bring them both back to face me. Turn them face the floor. Bring them to face me. You don't have to be on the roller. Your toes can be tucked under, or you can be on the knees. Shoulders now working super hard. Go 2 more. And back to me. And 1 more. And back to me. Hip down. Pull the knees in for a little mermaid. Roll that shoulder that you were working on, guys. That's a tough one. Give that arm a pull across. Move it around a little bit. Move the neck around. Make sure you didn't pull any tension into that. And let's find our mermaid. So tuck this in. Try and drop your booty. Give me a lateral flexion to stretch out in the opposite direction we were crunching. And look to the floor. Big breath. And then rotate down to the floor. Rotate back to face me. Come all the way out. Turn your spine lifted. This butt cheek will lift. Rotate around, hands down, and give me some traditional mermaid here. So as I come deeper, if I don't lift my back leg, I will flex my spine, which is not a bad thing, but I want you to warm up your extensors. So when you come down, I want you to lift that leg so you feel your spine doesn't really change. A little harder, hand into your lower back. You're now working that tricep of the front arm or that arm reaching away. And your last option is to stretch out that leg. So I'm loaded here on my arm, and then I'm bringing it up and in. Go 2 more, and lift, and go 1, and lift. Come all the way out of that. Tuck that leg in, drop that booty down. Over you go for the stretch. Big breath. Rotate down. Rotate back out. Gently bring it all the way out. So again, same sequence, either on the roller or on the floor. Right? So totally up to you. I need to actually turn the other direction. That would probably help to not do the same side. Go ahead if you're on the roller, armpit dangles off so you can get your head fully supported. Foot is quite far forward for balance. Top leg is reaching. If I'm on the floor, my knee can be bent, tucked, or reaching long, right? Reaching long is your hardest. It's the most unstable. Weight is totally optional. Open your chest, lift your bottom ribs, lift and lower that top leg. So if that lift and lower with point and flex is going nicely, you can grab that weight and just do a little rise. Straight out from your armpit. Watch it's not above your head. So I'm lifting straight out from my hip socket and bringing it down. If I can see my leg in peripheral, I'm too piked at my pelvis, or my hips, should I say. Let's go 2 more. And last 1. Now hold it long and reaching. Place the weight on top if you're able to balance. Point the foot and just give me those little circles. Inhale, exhale. Try and push the heel to the back. Circle it to the front. Go 4 more. And 3. Shoulders away from your ears. Nice long bodies. 2. Nice. Circle the other way for 4. And 3. Last 2. And 1. Reach it long. If you've got the weight, you might want to put it down here. Flex the foot. 2 kicks forward. 1, 2. Point the toe. Reach it away. So here I'm really being careful of rib-hip connection. When the foot comes forward, we'll tend to round the spine and the pelvis. And as we push it away, we'll tend to arch. We're holding neutral. If you know the side kick series 1, you can have both hands this way, It's 2 kicks forward, and then you sort of lift your rib cage. I guess you can sort of do it on the roller. It's a little awkward because there's not a very big lift happening. But if you want to do it on the floor, definitely you'll get a nice little rib lateral lift. Go 2 more. And go 1 more. And release that down. So I'm just going to roll off the front or the back. I like coming off the front. So I'm just going to bring my hip off, move that roller, and I'm taking it down around to my legs. Again, don't have to use it. We're doing our side plank. If you've got pressure points on the elbow, your joint gets sore, wrap your mat. Have your elbow slightly farther out than your shoulder. I can go from my knees or I can go from my feet. I'm going with my front leg forward so I can do that rotation, and I just rotate onto my shin. So I'm going to lift my hips, find it long. Now stacked is harder, right? So you can choose that. And then I'm going to drop my hips, finding a lateral flexion, and lift them. Careful of QL here. If you've got a miffy lower back or QL, you are moving through the oblique muscles, the rectus spinae, and you're moving through QL. Your shoulders stabilizing like crazy. You might need to put the knees down so that when you drop your pelvis down, it's not as big of a movement. Go 1 more. Now stay long. That leg's going to go in front. I'm going to come all the way forward, hit my plank, and then come all the way back to tall. Look to the sky. Look down to the floor, square the hips, and come all the way up. Let's go 4 more. Exhale down. So my knee option is here. And roll. And I wouldn't use the roller. I wouldn't have my feet up. It makes it more awkward. And lift. And go 2. Exhale, reach. And last one. And reach. Bring those hips down. Sneak those legs in for your mermaid. Ooh, that's a good side lateral. Tuck that foot in. If this is difficult to get your butt down, you can put the legs forward or crisscross them or sit up on a block, right? From here, we're going to reach, go into the lateral, kind of stretching out the opposite side we just worked there. And then rotate down, side lateral, bring it all the way out. That hand lines up with my sit bone, and I rotate my shoulders. As I do that, I am going to lift my pelvis. Hand down to start with. In a long spine position, start your ups and down. So if you're rounding to come down, that is okay, but again, I want to warm up my back extensors. So I'd rather see you lift that back leg and teeter-totter in a neutral alignment. Working for you, the hand comes into the small of the back, or it reaches. Reaching is harder. So when I kick my leg out, I'm counterbalancing the weight of the arm. So harder would actually be on the tricep muscle in the back to keep that leg tucked in, because then you have a heavier weight closer to the line. Let's go 3 more of whatever you chose. And go 2. And last one, come all the way out. Tuck that heel into your bum, settle into your glutes. Go lateral flexion, big stretch, you guys. Big inhale here, stretch out the rib cage. Rotate it down. Back to lateral. And all the way out. Unfold your mat. Come onto your tummies. Let's get a little extension going there. So I'm just going to grab the roller. Roller here is, by all means, hugely optional. If you find yourself really tight in the lower back and or through the shoulders, you probably don't want to use the roller on this part. I'm going to take off that microphone. Hopefully you can still hear me. I'll put it fairly close. So I'm going to do the first swan without the roller, and then I'm going to add it. So my hands are beside me. My legs are laterally rotated. I feel my feet in the corners of the mat. Drop the shoulders, engage the abs. So this isn't floppy. If you need to do a couple floppies first, go ahead. Otherwise, engage the abs. Push into your palms. Don't flare your elbows out. Push the marble, and then connect those cores as you lengthen up. So just kind of see where your back and your spine is going today, and then bring it down. If it feels like you could come higher up, go ahead and pull your hands in a little closer. Press, lift up through the pivot bone, right? So I'm not going Gumby here. I'm strong and lengthened, and bring it down. So if you're like, okay, that feels good, I want to add the roller. I'm going to bring the roller into place. My thumbs are pointing up. The roller is just a little bit above the wrist line. And that starts with this first scapular awareness of pulling your shoulders down into your back pockets. If thumbs are to the sky, pinkies are to the floor. I'm going to start to pull that down and then turn my palms and lift into my swan. Big inhale here. And exhale and roll it back down. So if you don't like the hands above the head, put your hands back into the first original swan position. And lengthen. Let's go 2 more. Shoulders down, lengthen up. Big inhale, look straight forward, no tension there. And bring it down. One more time. Lengthen it up. Hold nice and strong. Big inhale here. And bring that down. Beautiful. Push that roller out of the way. We're not going to use it. Bring your legs back into a bit more parallel. Open as comfortable. And then put your hands just to the side for now. Tuck your nose under. So you're tucked with the forehead to the floor. Pull your abs up and in. Squeeze your glutes. Lift your legs just a little. Lift your legs just a little. Now start a little scissor. Start a little scissor. It's not massive. The knees have to be straight. We want them to be straight. Now, if that feels okay, hover your upper torso off the floor. Just hover. Don't extend. Just hover like Superman. Beautiful. Still working for you. Turn your palms to face you. Thumbs to the sky. Reach those arms a little bit farther forward and hold both the legs and the arms off. We're going into swimmer. Pull your abs in. So I'm going to take my right hand. I'm going to tap it 4 times. And I'm going to tap my left foot 4 times. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. Opposition. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. Tap, 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 hold. Now, if the 4s are working, stay with it. Otherwise, we're going to 2s. 1, 2, switch, 1, 2. Doubles are working, you're going singles. In opposition. Still working. If you don't need to touch the floor, hover off. 8, 7, 6, 5. Abs in. 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Push back into the child's pose. That's one of those coordination ones. So again, the taps just close the kinetic change because when you touch, then you realize 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can do it hovering without swaying the body left, right, that's perfect. That's what we want. Couple inhales, exhales. Do what feels comfortable in your body. Coming back to a little bit more extension all the way forward for me. Legs in parallel. So we're not in turnout, we're in parallel. And I just want you to start with your cheek to the floor. It's not double leg kick, but I'm starting with my cheek to the floor. I'm starting with my arms extended down with my hands facing my thighs. I'm going to pull my abs in, squeeze my glutes, straighten my legs, lift my legs a little bit. And I'm just going to turn and find Superman, slightly extended in the center. And then release all the way down. Let your shoulders drop. Turn your cheek. Inhale. When you turn your cheek, don't let your butt go. Don't let your abs go. Keep those slightly contracted. Exhale, find Superman. Now, if you can, give me a bit higher than Superman on both the legs and the chest. And then float it all the way down. So shoulders flop, palms are to the sky, chin is tucked and turned. Exhale, reach as you find that center. Inhale, lower. Exhale, reach. Inhale, lower. So each time I'm looking a different direction. Exhale, reach. Here I'm looking not up, but to the floor, shoulders reaching, legs engaged, glutes engaged, and turn. On this one, we're going to stay here. Now, if the lower back is like, yeah, I don't like that. Put your feet down, draw your abs in a little deeper, just move your shoulders. So now I've turned my palms to the sky. I'm maintaining the height of my extension, and I'm just pressing those shoulders open. If you're okay, lift the legs and keep them at this constant height as you press into the arms. This is a tough one. Go 4 more. You're just holding. 3. Exhale, 2. And 1. Bring those arms all the way around. Relax the legs down. Push back into whatever recovery feels good for you. Couple inhales, exhales there, you guys. Round your back. Hold it open. If you don't feel you need a rounding, come up tall and go a bit more beach pose. If you feel you need an angry cat, go ahead, angry cat cow movement. So recovery is yours, right? Whatever feels good. Couple inhales, exhales, and then we're going to do some cat cow to thigh stretch with our rollers. So after your back feels a little released off, extension is always a good challenge. It's just opposite to where we spend so much of our day. Come up into kneeling. If you need a kneel pad, grab it. I have a small lateral rotation. So instead of being perfectly parallel, I'm slightly laterally rotated. Do I have to be? No. But if you're tighter in the quads, and the hip flexors, you're going to want to be. Could you do both? Absolutely. You won't go as far back in the parallel as you will in the turnout, right? We just have more support from the glute when we turn out a bit. So we're going to start with cat-cow. Reach the arms, come around the corner, find your roller. If you don't have a roller, you can use a ball. If you don't have the ball, just walk your hands out. Walk that out, and then untuck the tailbone as you drop into your lower back a bit here. When I say drop in, I don't mean release and just let yourself hang out, right? I just mean find anterior tilt. And then keeping your shins down, drop your tailbone towards your heels in theory and pull it all the way up. Find a gentle rib-hip connection. Lie back in the quad. If that feels okay, take your thoracic spine and the neckline and lengthen up a little bit. Bring that neckline and thoracic in. Use your quads to pull you up. Go again. Vertebrae by vertebrae. Roll it out. Find that length. Maybe play with lateral rotation and play with parallel on the legs. Drop your tailbone heavy. Try not to sit back on your bum. Try and tuck your tailbone to get the stretch in the lower back. Fingertip in. Rib hip connection. Lie back with the quad. Extend through the thoracic and the neckline. If you're okay, arms are heavy, you're welcome to put them out. I'm keeping mine close. Draw that in. Pull it forward. We've got one more, you guys. Walk that out. Press that away. Big breath here. Drop your tailbone heavy. Exhale. Roll it up. Rib hip connected. Lie back with your quad muscle first. If it feels okay, lengthen thoracic and cervical. Bring that back. Pull it forward. Place your hands over the roller. Curl your toes. Walk your feet or your hands into your feet or your hands, whichever way you chose to do it, and slowly come up. We're just going to sit on that roller for a little brief rollering out of those booties. We got them at the very start, quite deep. Step in front, bring your butt down, hands go behind, straighten out one leg, cross over the other, and then open that up. So I've opened my hip. From here, I'm going to roll into the side of the knee that's bent. I can hold the foot, I can keep it on the floor, wherever you want to, but you're opening up into your lateral rotators, piriformis, right? We always say we're piriformis stretch. The only thing is you're getting all your lateral rotators here. The leg is in turnout. That's a lateral rotation. So any muscles that laterally rotate, you're getting them. I do believe there's 5 of those little nasties. Inhale, exhale, roll around there. Now, if you know it's the glutes that give you more issue, drop this leg down, come down to your elbow, and bring that roller not above the PSIs, not above the pelvis, but just at the very top of it, and give me a left-right. So I'm coming right over onto my side and all the way back. Now, if you go here and you're like, yeah, no, I don't feel much of anything, and you felt more in the glute, go back to the glute. Totally up to you where you go here. Little rocking back and forth. And then my last one, if QL gives you an issue, you might want to do this without the roller. I'm going to roll down. So now the roller is above my pelvis, but in between my ribs. So it's at the kind of the 12th rib and then my pelvis. And then I'm going to lie down on my side, bring my knee up, and use that to rotate over to more stretch. Now, if that's way too intense on QL and on the rotation, get your hip off and just do this stretch on the floor. Do this on the floor if that's too intense on the roller. And I am going back and forth now very carefully on my QL. So I'm coming close to the vertebrae when I'm in the up and then rolling it back. Inhale, exhale here, you guys. And then bring it all the way. Put the feet on the ground. Lift your bum before you get in the center of your vertebrae. Push the roller out. Same thing, other side. I'm going to pull it in, sit my butt on it, cross the opposite knee, rotate over to that side. I'm going to start with the glute. So if glute is what's giving you the most issue, stay on the glute. You don't have to rotate, right? You don't have to go lower. I'm just going to turn so you have both visuals here. So now I've got my knee rotated and I'm leaning into that hip. And I'm just rolling around in circular motions in different directions, kind of going back and forth just on that booty, on the one side of my booty. Now, if that you feel is your dominant and you need to stay there, stay there. If you're like, no, my glutes are a little tighter up high, so your connection point, this foot goes down, you come down to your elbow, you roller it a little higher, and then we go back and forth from the glute right over to TFL, right? So I'm going all the way across. So if you found your belly button and then you came across the back, you'd find about your 12th floating rib. If you go down, you'll find a large bony protrusion that comes around to the front. That's your PSIS. That's where I'm rolling. I'm rolling back and forth on the top of the crest, just under the top of the crest of my pelvis. Now, if you're like, okay, I got that. My QL is tight. I'm going to go just above that. So it's in between my ribs and my hip. I'm going to drop down. I'm going to come into the rotational stretch. If that is too aggressive, do this on the floor, get rid of the roller. So this lifts my ribs up and it makes distance between the rib and the hip on the top leg, yet it rollers the bottom part on the bottom where the roller is. So you're getting a nasty on both here. If it's too much, go to the floor. Back and forth. Feel that rotation in your pelvis. Let it go all the way over, as well as the pelvis, the lower back. The lumbar spine is getting a beautiful rotation here. Open it up, spin it around, bring it back. Bring that foot to the floor, lift the hips, push that roller out, sneak it out of the way, come into your 4-point stance, and let's just finish with the down dog, guys. Curl and come up. Go ahead and pot the feet here if that feels good. If your toes are a little tight, you can come up into the toes, right? You can stretch those out. Gently walk your hands to your feet. Bend your elbows if you need to, or bend your knees if you need to. If you're doing this with your fingers, bend your knees so your hand can get flat for good support. Slight bend to the knee, open the legs. If your back is a little tight, you're going to bring your elbows to your quads and let your head dangle, ragdoll. If you're okay, you're going to let full ragdoll happen. We're going to spin it from left to right, get a little opener in that lower back that we just actually rolled. Let your arms dangle, and vertebrae by vertebrae by vertebrae. Come to the very top, roll those shoulders, give a little wiggle, and let's do our last breath, guys. Nice strong inhale, lift the heart. Exhale, hands down center heart, giving me a little shimmy of the body, and we are done.